Hi everyone, welcome in our webinar. I'm Elisa Contessotto and today with me there is Roberta Barbato, my co-host, and Gianluca Fiorelli, our special guest today. Hi Roberta, hi Gianluca.
Hi everybody.
I think Roberta, if you would like to say something about Zoom, so then we can start with our lesson today.
Yes, actually, yes. I'm sorry to barge in and take the virtual mic, but I really wanted to take advantage of this time together to properly introduce SEO to you all, since some of you might actually not know us at all. But I will be quick, I promise. So SEO is a platform that allows us to do analysis of keywords, URLs, websites, that helps us improve our projects, develop editorial plans, and generally speaking, solve all the main problems that can happen to us when we work with SEO, both on a more technical level and on a content and strategy level. So we have tools especially designed for big agencies, companies, and SEO professionals, as well as freelancers, copywriters, or small website owners. So there's not a real level of expertise or business size you have to meet in order to use them. Also, since we have so many free resources to support you, like, I don't know, we have video tutorials, we have our manual, daily blog posts, a live support chat, our favorite support chat. So you name it, we have it. And speaking of free resources, it is also possible to book a group demo with me, fully in English, to better discover all SEO features and all our tools, of course. So I will share the direct link to our calendar here in the public chat below in a second, but you can easily access the book a demo section of our website at www.seozoom.com to browse all the available dates. During this 20-minute session, I will personally give you a practical demonstration on how to use our software to speed up and boost your daily work process, and how to detect, more importantly, new growth opportunities. Also, but not only, through the study of your competitors. So now, hoping I kept my promise of shortness, I'm going to give back the spotlight to its original owner. So Elisa, if you really want to, I think we can start.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and we are ready to start with our lesson today. Gianluca Fiorelli, SEO International Consultant, will talk about image and visual search, a very important theme, because when we want to optimize our website, it's not only about technical or not only about content, the text content, but we need to understand how complex are the opportunity we can gain if we optimize in a whole idea our project. So Gianluca, I'll give you the stage, and we are here listening to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to you, and let's try to start and talk, because it's very plenty of things to talk about. So what is, okay, I'm Gianluca Fiorelli. As said, I'm an international and strategic SEO consultant, and why I'm going to talk about image search, because especially focus on e-commerce. Why? Because visual search probably is the most natural way of searching something. When we are searching something, we are really searching with our eyes before starting typing something. And there is some sort of misunderstanding of what is image search and visual search. Usually it is relegated to alt tag optimization and just that. And image search, somehow making a parallel with a hreflang, is not so complicated, but it can get very complicated, because the devil, as I say here, is in the details. And why visual search is so important? Because as someone who really knows what is the importance of images, as Kevin Systrom says, people always been visual since from the cave age. People were communicating and substantially confronting and sharing ideas with image. And visual search, moreover, when it comes to us, is perfect for two common dilemmas. For instance, I don't know what people don't know what they desire, but know that they will desire as app they see with something. A classic example is the iPhone. Nobody was really thinking or desiring a new type of phone or mobile phone. But when came Steve Jobs, presented the iPhone, and all of a sudden, we all wanted an iPhone or a smartphone, and then came Android, and then came everything else. And secondly, and maybe this is even more important, many times we know what we want, but we don't know how to name it. I usually do it, an example, when we go to, some sort of this plumber shop, and we need to buy something, a piece of a furniture, but we don't know how to name it. I personally go with a piece of furniture, asking, can I have a couple of these? So Visual Search substantially helps this kind of searches too, which are more common than we may think. And moreover, we are talking a lot about AI, and we are all excited about stuff like LLMs, ChatGPT, and all this stuff. But actually, it's more complicated, the work, when we talk about AI and image recognition with image than with words, because at the end of the day, for instance, the English language, the words have limited. They can have hundreds of thousands of meanings depending on their use, but they are limited. Images are substantially infinite. And well, SEO and visual search, image search have a, let's say, complicated relationship, because it is time consuming. Image CTR is ridiculous. People search image just to steal. And okay, content price more, apparently. But there are situations where really thinking about SEO for image and visual search is essential. E-commerce is clearly one of them. As you can see, this is a simple search. I think it's written so small and so big, the SERP. I think it's something like Nike sneakers, something like this. And what we can see is all image. The SERPs are substantially became a sort of visual magazine where paid or organic websites are promoting themselves. And if we are really good and really think about it in optimizing our website image for e-commerce website image for visual search, we can end up having our image being able to generate a conversion in just one click, eliminating all the intermediate steps, from which can be going to a category page, scrolling the category page, going to a subcategory, scrolling again, going to a product, etc., etc., etc. Indirectly, we can do this jump from search result to product page and potential conversion directly from the SERPs, thanks to a good visual search and image search optimization. When I talk about image and visual search, I'm substantially talking about Google and Bing, not because there aren't other search engines doing the same, but Google and Bing substantially work hand in hand. Sometimes it's Bing proposing something, and then Google copying it, and vice versa. In the past, it was just image search. Let's say that we are still in this phase, even if it's quite fading, within a mix between visual search and image search, but we are substantially here. We have image search and visual search being part of a wider multimodal search behavior that Google is pricing and pushing. Image search, as you can see, is this kind of thing. We can have an image in our website, in the SERPs. We have a vertical image search, and we have practically these kind of images are substantially present in all these features, substantially in every feature but a few ones. The most important one, obviously, is the vertical image search, which is composed by the search image tags, the shopping, whenever the query trigger a shopping, a transactional intent, and then the organic search results for image that may or not may have labels like the product tag, etc., etc., etc. And when it comes to image search, we also have to consider the universal search. So in the universal search, we can see even on desktop, but both in desktop and mobile, but Google is pushing the Google Lens icon in the search bar. We have many times the merchant feed, which can be named differently, can be shopping, can be popular products, and the merchant feed usually presents product carousel, which can be both paid and not. And as you can see, obviously now it's more and more frequent, and it's possible to optimize this image gallery of product for category pages search results. The good thing of this image gallery of products is that now, once it wasn't possible, whenever we click on it, on one of these images, we go directly to the product page. When it comes to image search, and it is a product image that we have tagged with structured data, substantially we can use the image search vertical as it was a sort of Pinterest. Why? Because whenever we click on an image which has been tagged as a product, we have this big image which presents the hero image, the name of a product, which usually is taken from a title tag or VH1, all the data that we are tagged with structured data, for instance, with the aggregator rating, the name of a brand, etc., the price, and other things. And usually the text that is used as a description of the image is relevant text, which is surrounding the image that we are, which is shown by Google. As I was saying, if we implement correctly the product schema and offer, we have this label that you can see here in this image on the right, on the left, and Google presents this product tag and eventually the availability of the product as in stock, out of stock. And because it's more and more common, the symbiotic existence of organic search and shopping graph, if this product is also sold by other merchant, Google is also telling us that this product is sold by five or more stores apart from ours. This is maybe not so wonderful for a merchant by itself, but if you are a manufacturer, for instance, in this case, is Star Wars Legion, is the manufacturer is Fantasy Flight Game, which is not selling directly the product. If you are a producer and not a distributor of products, this is something that you are going to appreciate because it's amplifying substantially the potential revenue this distributor of yours can have, so your income too. On mobile is even better, as you can see, because we are talking about the other shop selling your product. How substantially this experience, shopping experience on mobile in image search is giving us really the obligation to pay attention. We have to, as we are working a lot for optimizing our search snippet in universal search, we should pay the same attention to the image search results in image search, because obviously if our search results is not so exhaustive, is not presenting enough information, it's not just a question of price. Probably, for instance, in this case, someone could go to Walmart or to popmarket.com to buy the game. When we also have to pay attention in how well we are using image for selling our products, because image can be saved, can be also shared, but especially image can be saved, and saved in order to create collection. And collection are a fantastic opportunity, because you are substantially offering, Google is offering the opportunity to people, as it they were pins in Pinterest, to store image and related search results. So in order to do eventually a conversion, a transactional journey later. So it's let's say in this case, the search journey and the conversion path can last more than the classic 30 minutes that we are used to think about conversion rate. It can be last even one day, a few hours, one day, or even a week, depending on the products. In collection, substantially when people click on a save collection image, substantially the search result is substantially the same. You can see same image, same title tag, same data from structured data, and equally as in live search results, image search results, it's a fantastic because it's a real product page, because it occupies all the screen of a smartphone. And how can we individuate search opportunities? Because obviously it's not the case maybe to try. We have to optimize all our image at the same time. As everything in SEO, it's a question of priority. So how can we individuate this opportunity that for products and that we can optimize and prioritize? Using SEO, but be sure it's not, you can use also other tools, but SEO is really good for this kind of analysis. You can go on your keyword search and then filter for feature. As you can see here, you can filter for flower for funeral UK or rose flower near me. Google is telling us that image and shopping are available on the SERPs. So surely this means that Google is pricing and intercepting a need for a visual search or visual shopping. And obviously, once you have individuated all the keywords that you can do with kind of selected filter off with for the feature specific feature, and these are the keywords that you should start working on in terms of image and visual search optimization. However, when we talk about image, it's not just Google image. Image are strictly related to rich results. Product is obviously the most famous one, but article is not by far a second one. Is on the same level. An article, what you can see here, I highlighted things that usually pass, let's say, not really taken care, unobserved. For instance, okay, in an article, every page must contain at least one image. The image URL must be crawlable and indexable. The image must be in one of the formats that Google image support. And then this is important. The type of the high resolution image, so the standard for quality, and this last thing, the ratio. Usually when we publish an image on our website, we usually have one standard format, and probably is not even one of these three ratio that Google recommends. The problem is that we should indicate it, even if we are publishing the image in only one ratio, we should indicate, and I have prepared all the other two, and indicate in the structured data what are these URLs. But why? Because depending on the search feature that Google is going to paint on the SERP, Google will need a different type of ratio for our image. And if they are not, if cannot find it, it will probably distort, cut, or do something weird stuff with our image with a backlash in terms of CTR. The carousel that we saw before is another rich result that need to have image or it won't work. Even a structured data like event asks for image. Auto and auto supply were also working better when image were used, but now we know that auto and auto supply have been deprecated as rich results. Image set metadata, local business, especially for restaurant, logo, movies, and product. As you can see, the product is very, very, very similar to the specification we have seen before for article. Receipt and video. So image and structured data are substantially friends. And if we think of using structured data also for rich results, then we must use the image as Google recommends. If not, we are not going to have rich results. And we cannot forget also Google Discover. We know that Discover is not pushing articles that articles that don't have image. So at least 1,200 pixel large or whatever, a max image preview using indicated in the head. Okay, but image still is, when we talk about universal search, is not rich results only, is not only the shopping box, etc., etc., etc. We have image in the knowledge graph. So if we want to optimize our presence in the knowledge graph, we must think also about the image in order to have our image presented for products or line of products or even our brands. Feature snippet is not so common as it was once, but once, yes, images were presented also in the feature snippet. And obviously, as we said before, the organic merchant feed, the organic shopping. And again, Google is very precise about the specification guidelines for image for the merchant feed, and they are not exactly the same we see before for schema. For instance, it's interesting this one because when we talk about image, we are used to see image files saved with very weird numbers and characters and so on. And if we are going to use this file for our merchant feed, Google is going to eliminate them and not considering, especially if it's if in the file names there are symbols and spaces. Again, the URLs must be indexable. And when we are talking about product, we must choose a canonical image. So we have to indicate in the image link value only one image. Other can be added, but they are not going to be the most important one. The URL of image must not change. For instance, this is important, is somehow reminding of Google News optimization. Also in this case, the URL of the article should be stable. In this case, our main image URL must be always the same, even if we are going to substitute it with another image. So this new image should have the same name for the file. And we must consider that indexing is a little slow, and we can choose to enable automatic image improvements that are generated and administered by Google Merchant itself. And there you can see, depending on the type of product, which kind of size are considered and recommended. How to do SEO for image? This seems basic, but it's good to have a refresher. So descriptive file names is important. Not really because they are a ranking factor, but because many times, just think of WordPress, the name of a file is used to generate the alt tag. And then, when we are talking on product image, as we have seen before, if you are using descriptive file names, it's less probable that we are going to use percentage, symbols, and characters that are not going to be accepted from merchant. Obviously, the alt tag, or also known as alt text, is important. It should be short, descriptive, synthetic, and maybe I'm going to debunk a myth. Many things that the alt tag is meant also for on-page SEO, so for universal search, let's say so, to rank better a web page. But actually, the alt tag is considered by Google only for Google image. So this is a good news. For instance, if you are a website that don't have such a big pressure in terms of image search optimization, and you have 100,000, if not million of images to optimize, you can forget the alt tag, or at least you can use the alt tags only for those images that really matter. If you have thousands of images to optimize in terms of alt tags, this is a checklist or procedure that you can do. You crawl your website, and you filter your image, crawl it with any crawler. It can be Sidebulb, it can be Screaming Frog, it can be the same crawler that SEO Zoom presents in the suite, whatever. Filter your image resources, URL to see all of them that doesn't have the alt tag. Discard all the template image, and you can integrate quite easily what are the template image because they are site-wide, so they are present at practically every page of a website. And then, in case of e-commerce, but also on magazine blog articles, you can decide the prioritization workflow depending on the relative importance of the content. As we can seen before, product pages with schema can trigger the product label on Google image search and start offering the opportunity for visual shopping directly from the SERP. So maybe in this case, it's better to start with the product pages. Secondly, I would work on category pages because of a carousel structured data opportunity. And then if we are in e-commerce, we can put at the end the magazine, the blog articles. Obviously, if we are, let's say, an affiliate and our main content is informational content like blog posts, article reviews, maybe we should start with a magazine and put it from 3 to number 1. You can also use AI for captioning the image. Here you can find the link. Surely, I'm sure that Zoom will share the slide to all the participants of the webinar, so you will be able to click on the links. And caption. Why caption? We saw that usually Google take the content for the description of the image in its image search results from the content surrounding the image. And the best content to surround the image is the caption below the image. This can be especially interesting for everything article and blog posting. Then we have the image description, which is a tag that we can fill in HTML, and we can do it all surely on WordPress, which is extremely useful for everything like image galleries, because normally the image galleries don't have text. Obviously, the XML sitemap is something that is required by Google, and this is how Google explains how to create an image sitemap. We can indicate, obviously, for each URL, the image lock, we can indicate up to 1,000 images. Obviously, it's very difficult, but a normal website has 1,000 images in one URL. But things for websites like, as I was saying, Pinterest, but also Alamy or any Shutterstock, all these image bank website, this is a really important opportunity. And remember also that you can combine different types of XML sitemap extension, but in that case, yes, you must. So, for instance, you can merge classic normal XML with putting hreflang annotation in the XML sitemap, and also merge with image information. In this case, the XML sitemap is probably going to be very big. So remember the limitation in terms of weight and dimension of a sitemap in this case. And obviously, consistency between the image and the text surrounding it. We cannot present the image, at least if we, the only exception is when we want to create some sort of big contrast between what we are describing, we're saying in our words, and what we are showing in the image. But this is more an editorial and somehow even personal writing stuff. But obviously, Google loves consistency. And also the consistency must exist between the image and the text. If we are talking about sneakers, we should present image of sneaker, of people wearing sneakers, of how sneakers are built, and so on. If not, Google is going to find the information inconsistent. And this can affect on the consideration of quality. And high quality image. This is what Google is like. Create good, great content in terms of images, use high quality image. But then he also said, you also must be fast. How can you be fast when you have to use high quality image? It's not just a matter to, compress the image. It's really understanding how to optimize for page speed. This is the case of product image, and we have to consider to prioritize how to optimize this image. The classic is saying, use lazy loading. But using lazy loading is not enough. You have to really specify what are the image that you really want to be painted first. Then you are going to tell, okay, these are the images that are just after the first scroll. So once you have loaded the above the fold image, immediately fetch the image just below the folder, which are somehow in the gray zone between above and below the folder, depending on the size of the screen, and then async all the other images. So lazy loading all the other images that are not even in this sort of gray zone. You can do this, you have to do this kind of consideration and work. For instance, in this case is categories, but obviously for carousel, in this case, the carousel is different but substantially identical to what we have seen before. That's in the sense that we have a few images that in the carousel that are immediately visible, images that are starting to pop up and being visible. So we have to ask Chrome to fetch, to the browser to fetch it with important priority, and then the other can be lazy loaded. In this case of carousel, one more reason for not using automated animation, don't use it, because it screws up this kind of optimization. When it comes to product image that are presented like this. So with a gallery which is used by, you can move from one image to another. It's the user doing this action. It's similar to the carousel one. And please don't use always JPEG or always PNG or always WebP or something. Really choose the right format of for image for the type of content that you are using in the image. We have to know better what are the format and what they do. For instance, PNG is fine for all the browser, doesn't allow animation, can be used for transparency. So when designing a website, it's maybe better to use PNG for this kind of stuff. JPEG doesn't allow transparency, but it's widely accepted by all the browser. WebP now is all accepted by all the browser, and that's when that means allowing for transparency in animation. And AVIF, which is not so new, but still relatively new, is maybe the best solution, but we must be aware that Safari and Firefox have limitation in the adoption of the AVIF format. If we are needing animation in our pages, please don't use the GIF, even if they are really cool. Use video for transform this GIF in short video, which is better for speed. If we need really big resolution, we are, for instance, a fashion website, an apparel website, or a luxury website. So we really need to show our products in all the best, with the best resolution. Okay, we have to know that PNG is not lossy, so it's going to be really, really heavy, its weight, so maybe it's not the case to use it. WebP is lossless and surely more efficient than PNG. The SVG, for instance, if we have for image like logo, like sketch, like something which are based substantially only on geographical image, geometric shape, maybe it's the best format to use. And we have to reconsider the use of text in images, so also to paint over the image, the text in the image maybe can add some weight to the image itself. And if we are working about how to optimize the photo and the image, maybe the first choice should be JPEG because it's both lossy and lossless, but we have to test it. And JPEG, what it does is that it's still the most agile format. Lossy WebP or AVIF are good option, alternatives, but if the chroma, let's say, the intensity, the quality of the color of our image is important, and we have to know that they are going to look less shiny, our image, if we are using WebP or AVIF. Whereas this is a checklist, prefer vector formats when it's possible, minify SVG, whenever possible, use WebP or AVIF. Always test the quality of image before publishing them. Remove any unnecessary image metadata. There is a correlation between the presence and the weight of image. Serve scaled image, compress image using image compression like ImageMin, for instance. And obviously, it's obvious, but it's still not so common. Use image CDN because they do everything for you. And many times it may happen, it happened to me, that the client or your website or your company has a very good image stock for the product, but it's sold somehow. Let's say it's sold or it wasn't it was created in other conditions, so where quality is not so big or not so good. We can use this free model, call it ESRGAN, which is, you can find it on TensorFlow Hub, and thanks to it, you can enhance the quality of low quality images you may have. But also, you can use AI for other things. This is an example used by Adobe for Firefly. Many times, maybe in the beginning, when we are creating and adding products to our database, maybe we don't have the image stock, so we can create it. We can create it with AI using. In the case of Adobe Firefly, I'm suggesting it because it's all the other systems usually, even if they are used, usually should not be used for commercial purpose. So this is not the case for Adobe Firefly. Now also image stock website like Alamy, I think, I'm sure because it was quite recently announced. Alamy and Shutterstock offer ways to use AI image generation based on stock image. So they are, let's say, legit for the commercial use. But if you are using, Dale and DAL-E or Stable Diffusion, or as it is in this case, Midjourney, you can create quite good stock image for your website. This is a prompt, or a prompt for Midjourney in this case should be created, because you should not create the image for your website with just a textual prompt. Even if these systems are getting better and better in understanding natural language, is still not the best way to create the real image you want. Especially in this situation where you are creating something for your website, you want to have the biggest control possible over the generation of image. So for instance, you have to explain really well what you want and give a weight to what you want. For instance, I see that I want to give a big weight, so be sure to create something which is a store window display of a colorful collection of Fender electric guitars. Then we also should tell and specify very well what kind of style we want for the photo, and then we should do the photographer job, so specify the tag that the AI must use for generating the image. Obviously, give to it materiality, and then illumination and lighting. Then, whenever it comes to Stable Diffusion, DAL-E, and Midjourney, we should do our own work and start to understand what are the parameters. One thing that many don't know, that also LLMs like ChatGPT have parameters. So you can eventually learn what are the parameters for ChatGPT for creating better prompts. And in the specific case of Midjourney, we have to discover the seed property, the seed function, which is the way we can create consistent image when generating different image. Because prompting is a tool, if we are not precise, we can generate the classic mistake of ends with 6 fingers. Okay, we were talking about this. We were talking about image search, visual search, multimodal search, which can be also defined as conversational search. And here we talk about Google Lens. Google Lens, is the opportunity to search directly from an image using our phone, but also our browser desktop. Because if you right-click on any image, on any website on desktop, you have this opportunity to search the image with Google Lens. Google Lens, then from desktop, we can do also something wonderful. We may have image that we have shot in our smartphone and move to our desktop, and we can go upload them directly on Google search using Lens, and do so a more comfortable way of searching stuff with image search, with visual search and Lens directly on desktop. How it works on mobile is the natural environment for Lens. You can see this is the classic icon of Lens, and once we tap on it, Google individuate objects in the image. For instance, Grogu in this third image here. We can also manually select the object if we see something that is not being immediately recognized by Google. Once we have done this, Google will start presenting us results. How does it work? It works in image recognition. Image substantially it recognizes all the possible objects that are present in an image. So object is the keyword in our case for visual search. Object, and we could use also entity as a synonym, because at the end of the day, this is what are the objects, are entities. So if we are doing entity search, we can consider that research also useful for visual SEO, visual search SEO. But then we have also to understand that Lens is also a wonderful OCR tool. As you can see, we shot an image, activate Lens, Lens can read the text. And this can be interesting because when we select the text, we can ask Google Lens to search the text that we have photographed, we have shot in our image. So can be a good way to do something, get something interesting to talk with traditional marketing stuff in terms of packaging, how to make the packaging useful also for search. Lens is also useful for multi-search. We search for something, we see the products, but then we can activate let's say, a written classic search for finding facets or alternatives. So again, this is something that when we are doing our keyword research, we can consider everything like the facets as an important step to consider for visual search. In fact, usually we have this sort of dilemma when we have a product which can be presented with different color, different styles, etc., etc., etc. And many times these facets we decide to not index with kind of alternatives like black color or something. Why? Because maybe the search volume is not worth the opportunity, the risk of bloating our website with even thousands of URLs. So this is using visual search instead is a good idea, because we can tag all the image of a product, specifying the color for each image. So we can specify this is the black with pink details, this is the black with blue details. And so when people are searching or multi-searching, we can have the opportunity to show our product and then the people going to the same product page. Again, entity search is really important for everything multi-search. So is the connector between textual search, classic search, let's call it so, voice search, and image search, visual search. So if we did a good architecture based on entity research and keyword research following keyword research, we are going to have great opportunity for visual search. For instance, we can decide how to optimize our images. So how to optimize our photo shoot. Let's say we are selling the Star Wars uniform and the Star Stormtrooper uniform. Maybe we can see that people also search suite case for Stormtrooper. So why not presenting something like this, an image of our Stormtrooper with a suite case? So when people are searching for using Lens for searching for it, maybe it's not going to buy the Stormtrooper because it's too costly, but the suite case is cool enough to be an opportunity. So using visual search, identity search, and embeddings, and keyword research and related searches on, we can create more conversion opportunity from visual search. And obviously also for multi-search, because our keyword research, maybe we discover that there is a market for pink Stormtrooper uniforms. What is the visual search SEO? Everything we have done for the classic image search is still okay, it's still needed. But then we have to really work on structured data with everything I described before. High quality image, not forgetting the need for speed, attention to page speed, as I was saying, and especially when it comes to visual search, we must try to offer the clearest image possible, especially for products. We can use this sort of artistic, blurry, fantasy style image for articles, for blogging, for press landing page, but for the product page and for the category page, no, please no. Be the clearest possible, because if not, Google will have still issues, problem in individuating the objects. If possible, let's don't use stock image. Why? Because stock image are used by everybody. And if visual search is related to entity search, it may happen that some image that we are thinking, for instance, use only for indicating menswear, female bikini, female swimwear, bikini stuff, maybe are used for indicating and associated to totally different and maybe not so nice entity that we don't want to be associated with. So don't do that. We have the tools now for creating our stock images, as we saw before. Then, yes, maybe counterintuitive, but republish your image portfolio in sites like Pinterest, in sites like Alamy, like Shutterstock, and all of this. Why? We are going to see it later, because it's good to have our image used by the others. Then, again, as we show with the Stormtrooper case, create every detail of a product image using correlated product inside them. For instance, if we have selling this is something classical that we can do, something that we can classically do, creating not only classic product image, which are presenting just the product, but also offering a gallery, or let's say still life product image. So how the product is used in real life. Let's say, for instance, a men's suite, the main object, the main product is the suite, but usually the men will also wear a watch, maybe also wear, I don't know how you call it, for the shirt, the thing that is needed to close the shirt. And these correlated products that usually are booked, or a tie, or something like this, or any other apparel, all these are correlated products. If a man buys a suit, most probably will buy a tie. And so use them. So in order to have Google Lens or others visual search engine to individuate, to see them and highlight them. So if you are maybe not losing a conversion for a suite, maybe you are gaining a conversion for the tie. And optimizing internal linking also for your image. So in order to make Google understand what is your most important image. what I was saying, this is important also for what I was saying before related to show and share and make your image being used. Why? Because Google is associating the image with the content presented in the page that is publishing it. So the more the page are using your image, the more Google is associating your image to these entities. This is an example. This is a stock image for Game Workshop, which is really given to all the distributors, to all the bloggers, and so on. And obviously, Google is, thanks to this amplification of image and entity analysis, is able to really understand that this is a miniature of a knight, fictional character that is related to a game. It's a warlord, and so on. So when people are searching for this kind of entities on visual search, on image search, this image is going surely to pop up. Also, let's say it's page rank for the image. So we are concluded substantially, and this is my TLDR, which is, again, visual search is the most natural search. Image and visual search SEO is not just alt tag optimization as we saw. And yes, the start is easy, but it can get complicated because the details, the devil is in the details, and the details can be very much, many.
Thank you, Gianluca. Thank you for your lesson. It will be very interesting. And I want to say, day by day, we say that SEO is more and more ecosystem and experience. We need to understand the user intent and the way it's the user journey when someone wants to look for some needs and then obtain and gain the answer, the result, the product. In this term, visual search and the image optimization, it's very important because with the multi-search, users have a new way to reach our website. I think, Roberta, we have some questions from the audience.
So the first one is, well, Dana asks, often when talking about image optimization, people think of a transactional context. Do you think the role of images is equally important in an informational website?
Oh yes, totally, because the best example is Discover. Discover is purely informational content, but the click usually is generated by the impact of image that is presented with the article in Discover. So there are really wonderful studies about what kind of image to use. For instance, better if we have humans or, let's say, pets or animals, something like this. And on the contrary of what we may think, because usually we think in cinematic photography, so usually the face is on one side or the other. In Discovery, it must be central and looking to a person. So this kind of study has been done. You can search on Google to find them. So yes, obviously, images are important for everything, not just for transactional content. That's why I was saying also when you are, for instance, an e-commerce, that can be a place where you can use still life image presenting products without presenting the products. So it's a good way to, for instance, in that case, people could go to the blog post and start a resource search with a screenshot and then on Google using Lens.
Clear. Okay, so second question, yes, when you need to analyze a competitor, how do you assess their competitive strength with regard to images?
It's somehow, as I was saying when that couple of slides that I was saying, how you can find opportunity for image and visual search optimization for your website. You do the same, analyzing a competitor. If you see that a competitor is present on the SERPs, especially normally the tool always show us a universal search. But so if in the universal search you see this competitor is really present with image-rich results like carousel, like any kind of rich results that you know that have image like product or something like this, and in the image, single image, and image box is also there. So if you see that your competitor is really present there, then that means that they are really doing good image search SEO, or the image search SEO is so, competition is so low that they, even if not doing any image search optimization, we are ranking relatively well in terms of image. But what I was saying, I mean, image search and visual search is something that people before were used to neglect, but more and more people are understanding that they are important. The problem is how to track and analyze the effort, because on Google Search Console still it's not so, when we have a segment for image, it's related to image search, the vertical. Yes. So if you are using image search as a source, that's a wonderful way to analyze your efforts. The problem is when it comes to universal search, which is image is still mixed up with the classic search results. So you don't know if, for instance, your image present in the image box is generating clicks directly from there, and or you see that you are ranking, your impression for a given keyword are enormous. Maybe it's because you have an image on the first page of a universal search. And it would be better if Google was able to allow us to filter better the information and the data for the performance section of Google Search Console.
Thank you. I have a personal curiosity, Gianluca. I want to know your point of view. You should, in e-commerce, I sometimes suggest to write in the file name of the image also the brand, because sometimes what happened to the user that are maybe in Google Imaging and look, for example, for something for the house to buy, and maybe they save the image in the download, and then maybe they forget where they found, in which e-commerce they found the image. And if in the file name of the imaging there is also the brand of the e-commerce, it could be easier for the person to find again the e-commerce. What do you think about this? It could be good or not necessary?
I think it's good, especially when we think about minimal style where all the furniture is substantially looking the same. It's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to use the brand in the alt tag too, not only in the file name, in the caption and so on. Also, it's a way to helping Google associating the brand name with the product name and the image.
Okay.
I think this is even better. Also because, so you are totally sure that if someone is outlinking and copying your image, and most probably is not going to change this metadata. So his metadata is going to move around the web with a photo. So
okay,
if they're going to steal your image, let's take some advantage.
Okay. Thank you, Gianluca.
Actually, I also wanted to remember our audience that our training webinars are also an opportunity to widen our net and get the chance to meet new speakers. So don't forget to follow Gianluca Fiorelli on all of its social platforms. You can find, I think, Twitter here in the public chat here, and so to be able to directly connect with him. And while you're there, don't forget to also follow SEO Zoom on all of our channels. So Instagram, our lovely Facebook community, Twitter, LinkedIn, we have it all. Follow us everywhere. And very important, as Elisa was saying, don't forget to take a look at the webinar section of the SEO Zoom website to find our next online lessons and whenever they will take place. We will be waiting for you. We will be very happy to see you again.
Thank you, Roberta. Thanks again, Gianluca, and see you in the next webinar. Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone.